That's right, it's post-apocalyptic movie time. Land of Doom is a 1986 post-apocalyptic action film from director Peter Maris. The movie opens with a slideshow of scenes from later in the movie. Not exactly the most exciting setup. Land of Doom! I saw these guys open for deicide. The titles seem to be sculpted out of what I think is supposed to be metal, but really looks like gray painted Play-Doh. Kaboom! Then back to the slideshow. It's the post-apocalyptic plumbers don't wear ties. After the credits, we cut to the desert and this high-pitched, annoying noise. Why would they want the audience to go deaf? Sorry, I had to suffer and figured I'd share. Just be glad I cut it off. That goes for about 30 seconds. After that, we get a voiceover from the hero, Harmony. Not Harmony Korine, thank God. Anyway, Harmony explains the setup.
I don't know how the final war began.
I do! It says it right here on the box. Much of the planet's population and environment has been destroyed in a nuclear holocaust. They show the world is ravaged by disease and pollution by showcasing these corpses covered in wacky wall walkers. Somewhere nearby, a group of raiders are looting and pillaging a local town. They must need more bling for their motorcycles. This is Harmony. She kinda looks like she could be Laura Dern's sister. As is with most post-apocalyptic films, you can gauge the level of bad guy by how much they look like Rob Halford. So the looting, murdering, and, other things continue. Harmony fights off Ogre and kicks him into the fire, which somehow ignites his back. I guess fake fur is very flammable. Here comes the flamethrower tank. Here's my problem with all this. They live in a world where supplies are scarce. So why do they insist on burning everything to the ground? Wouldn't it make more sense to just come in and take over instead of destroying all their resources? Who am I kidding? I'm expecting logic and reason from a bunch of guys wearing leather-studded chaps in the desert. We have fun. Harmony manages to escape to a cave where she finds Anderson. Do you have a pillow?
How long you been here?
2.
Maybe 3 minutes. Harmony's annoyed by Anderson until he saves her from a rubber snake. She then shares some of her beef jerky. If food is so scarce, shouldn't they make a fire and cook the snake?
It's a very pretty name.
What's that supposed to mean?
She seems annoyed by everything. I think Anderson needs someone to show him how to properly tie his boots. Why is she wearing her underpants outside of her pants? The next day, the two wake up in a completely different cave. Channeling Bruce Campbell's chin energy, Anderson convinces Harmony to let him tag along. They go outside and talk about how they need to be careful. Then they are immediately captured. The lead henchman goes to meet... This is Slater. Before the apocalypse, he was a professional wrestler. Slater tells him to go after Anderson.
Now get out.
Dempster's tracking him right now.
Get out!
He sounds like a teenager that wants you to leave his room. Not the most fearsome post-apocalyptic guy. Nowhere near this guy.
Charge! Once more into the breach, you mother grabbers!
Dempster tells the duo he's taking him back to Slater. What's going on with his shoes? I'm assuming they're spikes, but they look like busted flippers. They make him walk funny, too. Apparently Anderson's the reason why Slater has to wear a face mask. Harmony goes to escape, but the bad guy stops her. She then sorta smashes his head in with a rock. He sure breathes a lot for a dead guy. Harmony's gonna leave Anderson until he tells her about a place called Blue Lake, where a bunch of people are working to make the world a better place. She agrees he can go with her as long as he takes her there. They take the bad guy's motorcycle and blast some kick-ass tunes. In the future, all motorcycles will be decorated with cool cardboard cutouts. They run out of fuel and see a wandering group of people.
Plague.
Little bastards.
Oh, if only they practiced social distancing. The two wander further into the wasteland.
You think there's any game around here?
What, like Minecraft? Oh, you mean animals! They enter a village inhabited by the French? Oh! He brings them to his house to trade. Harmony goes to use the toilet, or whatever they're currently using for toilets, but really goes to investigate the area. She discovers this town's food supply is people! They didn't really do the best job of trying to hide this, did they? She gets caught and beats up the guy to escape. Harmony? That door really isn't gonna stop him, considering all he has to do is open it. I kinda hope this village turns out to be like the one in Gymkata. She gets back to Anderson and, oh no. What is the matter? You no like drifter meat? Just tell him he's been eating long pig.
What are you talking
It's human. That is human meat. Shed's full of dead people.
Anderson's desperately trying to wash the taste of people out of his mouth. The French cannibal is so mad he busts out some big insults.
You creeps! You creeps!
They escape into the desert but are trailed by 2 mutants. Harmony then kills both the bad guys off screen. They wander into an opening and are attacked by these guys. The duo watch Slater's raiders attack a camp. Oh, finally some explosions. They decide that instead of hiding, they should steal a motorcycle and escape. Because, yeah, sure. I can't help but feel that this footage is borrowed from another post-apocalyptic film. They steal a bike and very slowly get away. Hey, that's the exact same footage they had earlier. Wait, now it's a different bike. Well, it's not like these movies aren't all guilty of recycled footage. The bad guys chase him and Harmony very clumsily jumps off. These bikes have so much garbage bolted onto them, I'm surprised this didn't happen more often. There is so much going on in this next part. 50 minutes into the film, and we find out the evil lead henchman's name is Purvis. Harmony takes his gun, and they leave him with a tiny snake, which is apparently the deadliest thing ever.
You're not gonna leave me here like this. Come on.
The two get away and find a guy trapped by hungry dogs, which they scare away. This is Orland and Guinevere. I hope that's not his lady. He follows them on a bike all the way to Penis Rock. The duo then drives right into a trap. Purvis's men take them to Slater. Hey, his face mask is supposed to be studded. That cover art lied to me. Purvis arrives to let everyone know he's still alive. Orland follows the bad guys to their base and falls in a hole. Well, it wouldn't be a post-apocalyptic film without Jawas. Is this supposed to make him look scary?
Strong will survive, Anderson. And I'm a winner.
My mom says so! When all seems lost, Orland shows up with a flamethrower to save the day. Sure is a good thing we rescued that random guy a half hour ago. Anderson and Slater fight it out, and Slater gets his fingers cut off. Anderson goes to rescue Harmony. I think his gun was supposed to do something here. They escape while everything kinda blows up. Orland then takes them back to Jawa Town. They help them escape to a place where they can shoot more raiders. Orland finds a conveniently parked car, and they get away. This sounds more like the soundtrack for an 80s kids' adventure film.
Come on, you gotta be around here someplace.
The trio gets away, and the Jawas help by dropping rocks on the raiders. Purvis is angry. Harmony gives a tearful goodbye to the guy they met this morning.
We're gonna miss you.
Anderson and Harmony finally kiss. Aww. They head off to Blue Lake, but uh-oh, Slater's still alive. Who cares, though? Purvis was the much bigger threat. All Slater did was stand around trying unsuccessfully to look imposing. Orland decides to join them after all. Okay, I guess they're going to regroup in the mountain to have a final showdown between Anderson and Slater and... Wait, that's it? Alright, I guess they continue the story in Land of Doom 2? Ah, shit! Movies, stop ending on cliffhangers if you don't already have the sequel funded. The movie was shot in Turkey over the course of 3 months. It was based off the novel by Peter Kottas and was produced by the Matterhorn Group, which was a division of Maris Entertainment Corporation. The movie was directed by Peter Maris, who was born in Greece but moved to California and started making low-budget films with Delirium in 1979. Land of Doom was a big deal for him. He produced it with his wife and had everyone signed on to a 2-picture deal. That's why the film ends without anything being resolved. Both major villains are alive, and the heroes just sort of run away. They plan to set everything up here and then finish it in Part 2. Unfortunately, the film didn't do so well, and Part 2 was cancelled. Maris continued directing with films like Terror Squad and Ministry of Vengeance. He also directed one of the most expensive full-motion video games ever made, the $4.5 million 7-disc epic, Phantasmagoria. The movie starred Deborah Renard as Harmony. In an interview on the Blu-ray, Renard said the sequel was supposed to have more romance between Harmony and Anderson. Renard started in the business at 18 doing commercials and quickly was picked up for the TV series Dallas, where she played Sly. Dallas would go on to be the biggest show in the United States and quite possibly the world during its 14-season run. Renard was with the show for 10 years. During that time, she took the job for Land of Doom because it was a lead role, and also an attempt to move from TV to movies. She did do a few other movies after this, like Lionheart, and a small role in Kazam, but mostly stuck to television. After Dallas, she joined the long-running soap opera Days of Our Lives. Often, if I'm playing a post-apocalyptic RPG, I'll name one of the female characters Harmony. The motorcycles in the film were over-designed with all these various metal plates welded to them. This made them heavy, hard to control, and slow. Land of Doom was different from many post-apocalyptic films because it had a female lead. Now, there are others like The Sisterhood, where there's groups of Amazons fighting across the wasteland, but this was just a single female lead. Most times, a role like this would be filled by a rough, leather-clad Max Rockatansky ripoff. So while it didn't change too much of the dynamic of the film, it was still unique to see. They managed to cram in all the usual post-apocalyptic cliches. Lack of fuel, goofy overlord, Jawa people, cannibalism, and other stuff, which is all fine by me. For some reason, one of the posters has a red-haired female warrior on the art. Not sure who she's supposed to be. They made Slater look like Purvis too for some reason. Also, as I mentioned, Slater's faceplate has studs on it, which is not how it was in the movie. Maybe his outfit was gonna get an upgrade in the sequel? Land of Doom is not one of the best post-apocalyptic films, but it is enjoyable. Renard was good as Harmony, and Garrick Dowen was also good as Anderson. I would have loved to have seen a sequel, although by now I'm used to movies with grand designs that are planned as franchises that never happen. My biggest complaint is Slater is a fairly weak bad guy. He's not really imposing and just kinda yells a lot. I know they had some production problems, which makes me wonder if they had more scenes to shoot but just weren't able to. There does seem to be a lot missing, although that might be because they were setting things up for the sequel. Purvis ended up being the lead bad guy even though he was supposed to be just the henchman. Land of Doom is yet another in my laundry list of post-apocalyptic films. In times of chaos and uncertainty, this is my warm, comfy blanket of entertainment.